Hi, welcome along to the AFTV Tactical Insight Show. Graham, nice fist again today.
People keep saying, why am I allowing a fist pump when you've got a fist twice the size of mine?
Well, I ain't going to put you there, you know what I mean? But Graham, it was, I don't know how to even view this game. It's, in a way, I remember one time I spoke to Granit Xhaka at an event, and we just had a game. I can't remember what the exact game was, but we lost it when we were drawing and we ended up losing the game. And I remember him saying to me that sometimes if you can't get all 3 points, just get out of there with a point. So I suppose in a way, with us going down to 10 men in this game against Crystal Palace, you could view it as a point gained, but then also the way we started, the way we've been playing recently, the optimism and that, we were kind of thought 3 points was there for the taking. They had a few injuries, Palace as well, and we didn't really take it, especially after that. When we got our first goal, I was thinking today's going to be 3-4. We were that good at that time. So break it down for us. I mean, it's another draw, it's only a point. It's not a loss, but...
I mean, in the end, going down to 10 men, I think you take a point.
Yeah.
And I think the sending off was obviously one of 4 things that went against us in the second half, which I'm going to talk about. You are right. We controlled the game in the first 30 minutes, and I think that we're going to touch on today about why he's possibly not getting the best out of the attacking players at the moment. But I was impressed with the way we handled the situation down to 10 men. And I'll give credit to the team. And Granit Xhaka's right, sometimes that when you find yourself in a position like that, it's all about sort of managing the game, taking the point and getting out there. So in the end, we took the point, I think, because we were down to 10 men. I think my overview of the game was, I think we controlled it for 30 minutes. We only had 1 shot on target in that time, which is disappointing. But ultimately, we allowed it to become a scrappy game.
Yeah.
And that's what Palace wanted. Palace wanted a scrappy game. All the time it was a technical game. We were in control of it. The moment it became a scrappy sort of game, helped probably by the blustery, not helped by the blustery, windy conditions, which I think made playing football difficult. But I'm not going to turn into Ty and blame the conditions. But I just think that it was a scrappy game. But we allowed it to become a scrappy game. I'm going to touch on some of those things that led to that turnaround for us. But overall, I thought in the end, 1-1 was a fair result. I think Palace showed their fighting qualities and came back into it. Got a lucky deflected goal, which I have to say was offside.
Offside?
When they drew the lines on it, it looked marginally offside. And we've now lost...
I didn't even know that.
Yeah, it was on Twitter. Everything's on Twitter now. Twitter is.
Don't believe everything on Twitter.
No,
trust
but
me.
you saw.
I can tell you that.
You saw the lines across. He was slightly off, and we've now lost something like 11 points now due to VAR decisions.
I saw something the other day on Sport Bible where they done this thing where they looked at every single team in the Premier League, all their VAR decisions, and if those decisions would have been right, where they'd be, and we'd be 5th.
Yeah. That just shows you, Liverpool's...
I mean, against Palace, isn't it? The first time we played them.
And Liverpool's...
The Socrates goal that was ruled out, isn't it? That was a, you know...
I saw that table. Liverpool's league would be down to 7 points. So, and we would be 4th or 5th. But we've had a lot of decisions go against us. And I'm not saying that cost us this game, because I think, ultimately, I think a draw was a fair result in the end. I think that... But we allowed... We took our foot off the gas, and I do get a bit worried about this, and I will touch on this. What I'm going to talk about, first of all, today is start off with Arteta's game plan. And I think we start off in this 4-2-3-1 formation, Robbie. It's the first time in a year that Arsenal have named a consecutive 11 in Premier League games.
Is that right?
Unbelievable, isn't it?
Wow.
First time in a year.
Jeez.
It's unbelievable.
You see our problems.
And that's what Emery was... Remember we used to say about
chopping and changing.
Emery didn't know his best formation, chopping and changing. Arteta has settled on the formation for Arsenal. And I'm going to touch on how he's getting the best out of David Luiz now. Socrates had a good game. And he's getting better performances out of some of these players that Emery couldn't. Torreira, who was a massive miss when he went off. We'll touch on that. And when Guendouzi come on, why it didn't work. But he's getting a lot now out of Socrates and Luiz. They're defending better, and we're defending better as a team. One of the strange things is, when he came in, I thought he would have trouble changing us defensively, and I thought that attacking-wise, he would make us better. But at the moment, I say his next real task is to get more out of our attacking players. There's too many games, I think we dominate games, we don't take our chances, we don't create enough, we concede to the first chance the opposition have, or we score a goal, we take our foot off the gas and then let teams back in it. And that's happened on Saturday, funny enough. But I just want to touch on the fact that he's getting better out of certain players. Granit Xhaka looks rejuvenated under him, working with Torreira in the two, in this pivot. Socrates and Luiz look better under him. I think he's getting more out of Ozil. He didn't get in this game, I have to say. I thought Ozil was poor in this game, and I'll touch on that shortly. And he's getting more from the team as a whole. Pepe has played, Maitland-Niles, and I was going to touch.
Who had a great game,
and
game.
Kolasinac.
And Kolasinac, yeah.
So
doing
he's
some
getting
brilliant
more out
runs
of the
in
team,
that
and
first half.
but now he's got a plan, and they're playing to a consistent shape. 4-2-3-1. I said in one of my previous tactical shows with you, if you're struggling with something, go back to what you know best. Arsenal are a 4-2-3-1 team, playing in small spaces because they've got good technical players. What I mean by small spaces, I'll just touch on it. Under Emery, the distances were so stretched. We haven't got athletes. I've said before that Premier League football now is about pace and power, but we haven't got physical, powerful, pacey players, so we have to keep the distances small because our players are more technical, one touch. So his plan in this game was 4-2-3-1 is the shape, and I think he went with two shapes in this game, in possession and out of possession, Robbie. Out of possession, I thought it was a 4-4-1-1. So what he did in this game was Ozil come here, and Lacazette was here, and he had Aubameyang and Pepe working back. So that was basically when Palace had the ball, that's I think what he was looking to defend with. Back four, almost like two banks of four you could argue, but we had Ozil and Lacazette, so it was a 4-4-1-1. That's what I thought his game plan was, out of possession. But in possession, that's what I loved about it. It was what I wanted. It was almost like a 2-3-5. So in possession, you had Socrates and Luiz. Maitland-Niles would come in here to form a three. Kolasinac would push up here, and we'd have all these five players. And we'd have them high, pushing up. So when you've got that sort of a shape, when you've got the ball, you don't allow teams to get out, right? So you have 2, 3, 5. And you've got, you see the distances are smaller. It's a very aggressive formation. It pushes teams back, and teams can't play through you. And that's what I like. That's what he did. The other tactic I thought he had first half was we saw more of David Luiz using line-breaking passes through the middle.
He was like a quarterback.
He was. And line-breaking passes with one touch off, technical one touch, to get Ozil into the half space on the right side of their defence to play in one of Laka or Auba. And it was Ozil's excellent touch to Laka, who played in Aubameyang for our goal after 12 minutes. I thought it was an excellent piece of play. And that was, I think it was an 18-pass move, I think they said. It
was a great goal.
Great goal. So we were in control for 30 minutes, Robbie. And I thought that it was looking good for us. But it started to change. Palace, it's almost like we can't keep the intensity at the moment. He's talked about a lack of fitness levels. And we didn't keep the intensity. For the last 10, 15 minutes, Palace came more into the game because we dropped off a little bit. We were... If anything, that they will argue that they weren't pressing us first half as high up the pitch. They were allowing us to have the ball, and they started pressing a bit more as the half went on because we dropped off slightly, encouraged them to press onto us, and that's something that I think is going to come with time. So they were getting back into it towards half time. But the disappointing thing for me, as I said, is when we're in control of the game, to only have one shot, and DT touched on his fan cam. I thought he was absolutely right. That first half hour. We were playing such good football, we should have created more chances, but we didn't. We only had one shot.
So why are we not, you sort of touched on us at the start of the show saying that why are we not creating more chances? So we've got Ozil in the team, you know what I mean? We've got now that sort of attacking front three that we've all been screaming out for. Pepe's in there, Aubameyang, Lacazette. Why are we not creating more?
I think there were a number of reasons. I think as well as Maitland-Niles and Kolasinac have been playing, they are important in build-up. Their pass completion rates were really low, 63% I think, was Maitland-Niles. He's passing. He handled Zaha really well in the game.
Yeah, he was
defensively. He was excellent.
He had other things on his mind. He was like, occupied, so we can give him a squeeze in this one.
Yeah, so he was excellent defensively, but his passing rate was down. Kolasinac only passed at 73%. Ozil wasn't so influential.
He's anonymous.
And I thought that Palace, they're sitting this 4-5-1.
Yeah, they made it tough.
Made it tough. So we couldn't get as much space as we wanted between the lines, because they eventually pushed up. So I think we didn't pass it as well as I would have liked, although Luiz did get in a few line-breaking passes, but we didn't. I think we've got a problem sometimes. These players don't play well when they're pressed. And I think even Torreira and Xhaka, if as much as it's a good pivot, I think Palace were, you say why we didn't take advantage. I think they pressed them really well, and they struggled to play through the press sometimes. I just don't think it clicked on the day to get openings with Palace in their shape. And I thought the conditions made it difficult.
Yeah.
It was a blustery win, so that's one.
Tight.
Tight. Yeah. so that's one of the reasons. So that was for me. Our attacking issues, I think he needs to address this. I think the other thing is, when you play away from home, if you want my honest opinion, I think you need more than one ball carrier. Because Pepe is our ball carrier. But I don't think you can play, and we're trying to play, why didn't it work? We were trying to play technical football, and they're defending in a shape. So if they've got bodies in there, it's more difficult. We're a technical team, but if they're playing in they're keeping a shape all the time as they were, I think you need more runners, Robbie. And I think maybe we only got Pepe. I don't know if you can think of another runner we've got.
No, Martinelli.
Yeah, but he wasn't in this game.
Martinelli. We're going to see a lot of him now because, of course, Aubameyang sent off in the game, straight red.
Yeah. Before we touch on that, I just want to touch on the first thing that happened.
Right.
And which I think was a massive change in the game, and that was Torreira's injury.
Oh yeah.
Because when it became scrappy, he's the person ideal for a scrap. But what he also is, he's sort of like popping off passes, he's breaking up play, he's keeping his shape in that too.
Yeah.
So we brought on Guendouzi, and I thought Guendouzi showed all his inexperience in this game. And I said to you when I come up here today, I wasn't shocked when I saw the stat, to be honest. He's the most dribble past Arsenal player.
Yeah, I was shocked when you said that.
Yeah.
I mean, when I think about it now, I can see he does get dribbled past a lot.
But where is he dribbled past? That's what worries me.
In dangerous areas.
And also he's up the pitch a lot.
So he finds himself up the pitch a lot of times, doesn't he? So he'll go to join in, and then he gets caught out a lot. Yeah. Like you said, it's a lot of inexperience on his part, but he's not a Torreira, is he? But it's just not the same when Torreira's not in there.
Yeah, but why? When he came on, he was replacing a sitting midfielder.
So you got a light for light.
Surely he's got to play light for light, hasn't he?
Yeah.
Would you not say so? So why is he then dribbling up here or trying to dribble forward? I know I said we haven't got many dribblers, but what I'm saying is he's vacating that position, trying to play box to box when really he should be there.
That's his natural game, isn't it? That's the problem, isn't it?
The other problem we have, Robbie, is Ozil in the previous games has been dropping back in here to help the build-up. We talked about why we're not building up. He wasn't doing that in this game. I didn't think he worked so well off the ball as he has in previous games.
He had a very quiet game.
And questions will be asked again about whether he is good away from home. That's bound to be asked. So that was the problem, I think, at the start of the second half. I think the Torreira injury gave Palace that little bit of a lift. Just want to touch briefly before we talk about the Aubameyang red card on David Luiz. We talked about the improved players. Can we just look at his numbers here? Under Arteta.
Under Arteta, 450 minutes, 24 clearances, 5 blocks, 4 interceptions, and 8 ground duels won. And then Kolasinac.
No, this is Luiz. 9 aerial duels won.
9 aerial duels won.
No times dribble pass.
No times dribble pass. Yeah. Wow. 373 touches. Is that no times dribble pass in all of the games under Arteta?
He hasn't been dribble pass.
Okay. 260 accurate passes and 36 accurate long passes. And he's certainly looking a very important and vital player in the team right now. It really does. And another very important and vital player we'll now be missing for 3 games is Aubameyang. Yeah. Sent off. Yeah. Was that a right decision?
Yes.
I thought so.
I
was arguing with Truce last night who said it weren't a right decision. I was trying to work out how you come to that conclusion. he's basing a lot of that on the fact that Robertson done literally the same thing and didn't get sent off.
I'm going to touch on that, actually.
All right.
But look, first of all, remember I said to you Max Meyer weren't playing?
Yeah, and he was. And a whole host of players that they said wouldn't be playing ended up, Ayew, they said, was looking like he might be out. He played as well,
So it was a straight red. I think we have to briefly talk about the goal before the red, though. And I will touch on that in the way that we switched off for that goal.
Yeah, because Arteta said, didn't he?
Yeah.
He goes, the way we switched off was unacceptable.
And it was unacceptable. And I'll tell you what happened in that moment of play. I think they had the free kick out on the right-hand side, and I think Aubameyang should be jogging back here. Sorry, Aubameyang should be getting back here, but he's jogging back. He's not there. So they take it, and I think Kelly plays it down to Meyer. Meyer gets here. Kelly's the one who takes the free kick and plays in Meyer here. Aubameyang should be here. So if he's here, Meyer's not in space. And then Coyote is the guy who actually ends up laying it off to Ayew. But the problem is when Aubameyang's not there, then obviously Kolasinac, who's now here, has got a decision to make. Does he go out to Meyer or does he go out to Coyote? And the problem is, Robbie, he gets stuck. Stuck between, like a duck between two stools. He doesn't go out to Meyer, doesn't really get to Coyote. So Meyer's able to fizz it across to Coyote, who's able to lay it off to Ayew. And then it took a wicked deflection off David Luiz.
Yeah,
so we were unlucky there. But Palace, to me, I could see that second half they were getting on top, and I thought a goal was possibly coming.
Yeah, the thing is, though, that was annoying is that, the keeper, Lena, barely had anything to do the whole game, what I mean? And so, I don't know.
Let's talk about the Aubameyang red card.
Aubameyang red card.
You want to talk about the Aubameyang red card?
Red.
Right, so first of all, he's the first Arsenal player to score and be sent off in a Premier League game.
Yeah.
The same game since Mikel Arteta at Crystal Palace.
At Palace as well.
In October 2013. What a stat that is.
So he can't exactly have a go at Aubameyang then, can he?
No. And the thing
no wonder he was saying afterwards, we never really meant it.
The thing annoyed me about Paul Tierney, the official on this, obviously he gave him a yellow card. It was a red. But he allowed Ayew to get away with 7 fouls and no card in that game.
Yep, the referee was awful.
And that's the most fouls committed in a Premier League game this season without receiving a card. He booked Maitland-Niles for his first foul in the second half. So I felt...
Poor refereeing again.
His refereeing was open to scrutiny there. But the Aubameyang thing, why did he need to make that challenge in that position? Is it because Arteta's demanding that sort of intensity now?
Well, that's what me and the guys in the office were arguing about, and they're saying that, my brother in particular is saying that he felt sorry for Aubameyang because, it's obviously the instructions that he's got to be chasing down. But that's part of the game. You've got to time your tackles right, and you've got to use a bit of this. I love Aubameyang, but he lost it there. The guy's going nowhere. It's on the halfway line.
It's not a malicious challenge.
It's not a malicious challenge.
It's just a badly timed
It's just a badly timed challenge, but I just think why do you even need to put that... But then, you know what, the thing is about it, maybe I'm wrong, because it's easy to say that afterwards, because had he timed the ball, timed the tackle, we'd all be going, yeah, well done, Aubameyang, that's what we want to see, you know what I mean? So it's one of them. It's totally accidental. He didn't mean to do it. But it's going to cost us big time. 3 games out, and he's the goal scorer.
And away from home, look at our records away from home. We scored 12 goals away from home. Aubameyang's got 9 of them.
Yeah.
And the only other players to score away from home are Martinelli, Pepe, and Torreira.
Well, then now it's the time when these other guys have got to step up. It's going to be, because we're going to miss him for the Chelsea game. That's the big one. Yeah. Right? Sheffield United, Chelsea, 2 big games. But now this is the opportunity for a Martinelli to step up, which I'm confident this kid can do. He looked very exciting when he came on. Lacazette, the onus is on him now to get those goals.
He hasn't scored away from home for nearly a year, is it?
I know.
That's a worry.
And he should really have scored in this game, I thought. Again, he seems to be having a problem getting the ball out of his feet. I don't know if anyone else has noticed that.
Yeah, I have. Yeah.
The ball comes across him a lot of times, and for some reason, he's just not getting it out of his feet quick enough. Now, is that something that is just a problem out of confidence, or something he just needs to work on in training to get right? Because I've seen that in a couple of games with him. But it's big shoes to fill now, and Aubameyang's going to be a huge miss.
You could argue he's trying too hard, Robbie. He's almost like he's trying too hard.
He's trying too hard. But Martinelli, I've got faith in this kid.
And the thing about Aubameyang is, I think the thing is, when you're a striker in form, your confidence, you do things instinctively.
Yeah.
So like Aubameyang, he does it off instinct.
Yep.
Whereas Lacaz's sort of like, almost like he's thinking more.
Yeah.
And he's taking that extra touch or that split second longer because he's thinking about it. I think he needs to get back to being more instinctive. The Aubameyang red, for me, were you in the stadium? Did you actually see it? Do you have a good view of it?
No, he was right where we were. At Palace, you're on the other side of the ground, so he's gone the complete opposite side of the ground to where it happened. We didn't see it until somebody at Palace very mischievously showed it on the screen.
What did you think?
That was after Aubameyang. It was a shocker. Definite red. All the Palace fans went mental when they saw that. I'll tell you, like Aubameyang was like, "Oh, I better get off here quick," because when they saw it. And even every Arsenal fan, when we saw it, we were like, "Ooh, yeah, red."
I like the way DT said. What did he say in his fan cam? He talked about it's possibly a red. And you said it's a red any day. Didn't you?
That's a red.
It's a red in this day and age.
But the thing that annoys you is when you then see the Robertson one. Now was the Robertson one a red?
The Robertson one for me was a straight red, and that's what disappointed me about it. The Aubameyang one, I think the difference between the two is that Aubameyang obviously injured the player and the player went off. Right, so that is a bad tackle. It's a straight red, but it's the same thing as the Robinson thing. It's an over the top, studs up. You could argue career. Aubameyang's not like that, but it is like it.
Could break your
and I'm really pleased he's tweeted out. He has tweeted out and apologised and wished Max Meyer good recovery. I'd love to see that. It's classy by Aubameyang because. And it's his first ever red card in his career. So, and I could see. Did you see the look on his face when he
looked really upset.
He was upset because he felt he let the team down.
Yeah.
He shouldn't feel like that because he's been our best. With Leno, our best player this season. And I know he takes great pride in leading the team. Yeah. He came out in the programme notes and said how much he loves the club, which is great to hear. And Arteta touched on his press conference. But he made a bad error, and it
happens, man.
It was over the top. But get onto the Robertson one.
There's nobody having a go at him for.
No. So let's get on to the Robertson one, right? So what's the difference? The difference was that it went to VAR and they checked the yellow card and it was a red, right? So it was overturned by Craig Pawson, who's the guy who failed to send off Jorginho when we played Chelsea. It's ironic that, isn't it? So anyway, red. But what's the difference between the Robertson one? The Robertson one was when he's attacking, he loses control of the ball, he overruns it. I don't know if you see the game. He overrun the ball. And the young Tottenham right back,
Tangra, I'm not going
to pronounce it. But I thought he had a really good game actually. It was a good prospect. Mourinho sort of found a good one there. And he didn't make a fuss, did he? And he got up quickly. But when you see it, Robinson, the Liverpool fans are saying he touched the ball. He did. The ball would run away from him. He was out of control, and he sort of like gets a slight nick on the ball. It's not like he regained possession of the ball. He got the ball first and then went into the player. He got a slight touch on the ball, followed through, and his studs are up, and he goes in over the top and catches him there, really low down. Now, the studs up. That to me is a red card. It's dangerous play. It's reckless. So I can't see the difference. So, do VAR check every foul like that?
Well, it's supposed to, isn't it? Even when the referee doesn't call for it, if it's violent conduct or like that, they check it anyway. So even why they can still call it back. But it's Liverpool, isn't it? You know that. I mean, everybody knows. I mean, when it comes to VAR, they seem to them and Tottenham. It's ironic it was Tottenham because they've had loads go their way as well. But
do you think the fact that Robinson laid on the ground, he almost like, I'm not saying he feigned injury, but he laid there for a while, and the emphasis was taken away from the tackle more towards because he was.
But that should make no difference as the VAR is checking these things. They check these things. A lot of times you'll see the play will continue, and then when you're watching it on TV, the commentator will say, "Oh, they've checked. Yeah, the check's been completed on that, and there's no, you know what I mean." And there was a stop in play as well. So I'm sorry, that was a straight red. Yeah. Straight red card, right? Yeah. And this is what annoys people. It's not that the Aubameyang one wasn't a straight red, but it's the inconsistency. It's VAR. I don't know what you think about it, right? Would you get rid of VAR?
You put me on the spot there. I was a big advocate of VAR coming in. I've got to be honest with you, I haven't liked it.
I haven't liked it, but I do think...
I'd rather see referees make honest mistakes than VAR make mistakes.
Yeah, I just think though with VAR...
Is it a work in progress?
It's a work in progress. But I think we've been getting it horribly wrong in this country. Things like not going to look at the monitor, things like, not communicating it with the fans. I mean, I suppose you can say it's the first season, so hopefully they can iron. I do think it's a good thing to have, because I remember that game, for instance, at Man United, where the goal was so obviously onside, right? And it was given offside, and the VAR got that right. I watched the Scottish Cup final a few weeks back, Celtic Rangers, where there's no VAR, and Celtic's goal was so obviously offside, and they went on to win the cup for it. So I do think it's the right thing to have, but they need to iron it out. And the one thing that irritates me, there's two things. The offside one, when they're getting all these little lines, I think you've got to have a margin where you give the advantage to the attacker. That's to me. Or you're ruling out too many goals when they're that minuscule, right?
Do you think we're looking at more intensity, everything now because of VAR?
We are, and I don't like this handball one. I saw that West Ham game where the ball got absolutely whacked. Now that's not a VAR thing; that's a rule change thing. But that was stupid. You know what I mean? So to me, when you start ruling out goals with minuscule margins, you're taking goals out of the game, and we want to see goals scored.
So you thought the Palace goal should have stood then? You
give an advice to it. Well, no, I've got to look back at that one. I've got to look back at that one. No, the ironic thing about that game was the Palace fans unfurling this big banner talking about how VAR is ruining the game, right? And then when the Aubameyang thing happened, them singing VAR, VAR, VAR. I was like, hold on a minute, you wanted it out of the game, now it's gone your way, you know what I mean? So, but I think if I was to break it down and say overall it's probably gonna be good for the game, but they've got to iron out all the problems that there is at the moment. It's still, I don't know if a lot of it's us trying to get used to it, or is it the fact that the guys that it's just still the same guys using it, controlling it, innit? That's the problem.
Yeah.
But it's 1-1.
But coming back to the game, then 1-1 it was, and I think the last 20 odd minutes down to 10 men, we played the game out all right, and then we had a really great chance to win it, Rob. I just want to touch
Pepe
on
one.
The Pepe one. And when the ball comes across to him, Laka does really well to lay it off to him. That was an unbelievable shot. And I thought first of all, he hit the post.
Keeper saved it.
But the keeper made a brilliant save.
Brilliant save. And hey, he's a good keeper.
And then he is a good keeper. Is he Argentinian?
I'm not sure he's from.
Because I see him talking to Martinez after the game.
Yeah, he's a brilliant save.
But he touched it onto the post, and then he got up, and then he smothered Laka's shot as well. That was an outstanding save by the keeper. So in the end, I think the four big moments in the second half went against us. Obviously, the Torreira injury, the deflected goal, Aubameyang getting rightly sent off, and then almost then we nearly pulled it out of the fire, Pepe, but the keeper made a great save. So you could argue, in light of that, in light of the fact, even though we controlled the first 20 minutes, Palace will say they kept us at arm's length. In the end, we managed the game out, and I think overall, you take a draw and you move on.
You take a draw and you move on. And we move on to the next game, Sheffield United. That won't be easy as well. I mean, Sheffield United are going great guns at the moment. So Sheffield United at home followed very quickly by an away trip to Chelsea. You know what I mean? I can't work out how we only just played them the other day and we've got to go and play them straight away again. But that's the next two games. So two big games coming up for Arsenal. But listen, it's 1-1. It's not the end of the world and still progress under Mikel Arteta. Graham, thank you very much.
Cheers, Rob.
Thanks for watching the show today, and we will be back next week.